Let's hope this one works. Okay, we are back again. We are here to do a very short update to do with the energy moving out of the Pisces frequency. Now, yes, currently we still are going to have the Pisces frequency with the Mercury energy. We're also moving into March and super. It's a way in which we can look at the wounds and we can look at how we can heal it. There has been a lot of split energy at the moment. So if you're feeling very disillusioned, it is perfectly normal. And it's almost actually help you. It's there. It's like a health check. We've been driving in a vehicle and potentially, in a dream state. It's a little bit like going to work and not getting paid. So reaching that pivotal point, it takes you to a very realistic place. It's not necessarily that the dream isn't going to occur. It's that based on the way in which we were proceeding forward, was that off kilter and was that out of alignment with the ways in which we were dealing with the situation. This is going to be a very unique time, and moving into the Virgo moon, you're going to be looking at the reality of needing the 5D to be the 3D. Also, it is a lot about creating healthy boundaries. Now, with the Mercury energy, because it is linking in with Aquarius, hi Sway, with the Aquarian energy, it's all about the collective. So it's the bigger group, it's the external influences, it's the people surrounding a dynamic. And, the crunch time with the Pisces energy. The sun energy is the dream. The moon energy is the intuition, the feelings. That can be family-related dynamics. And obviously, because we have the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn, some of those themes will be playing out as well. Now, the best aspects around the 9th that are occurring is Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, ironically enough. So having that accountable energy is going to give you an eye-opener into what is and what is not working, what your dream is, and also what some of your goals are, okay? There you go. Now, a lot of clientele. I've been touching base with you guys because, yes, the frequency has been heavy. And for Cancer and Capricorn, you guys would have for 2.5 years. It has been extremely exhausting, okay? So depending on where you have that aspect in your chart, all of us do have an aspect of a zodiac sign in our chart, and it hits in different areas. At a very collective level, all of us feeling that experience. So there can be a lot of disillusionment, fatigue. It's also a great time that if you feel that your body is out of alignment and you haven't been looking after your health, it's a great time to go for a checkup. It's also time to check in with yourself and say, okay, have I been overworking? Have I been giving too much to X, Y, and Z? And where is the out of alignment of the energy? Now, some of it, yes, will connect to a romantic partner, but a lot of it is about the collective. So it's where you have been. It's a bit like saying, I can't have a sick day off work because I have to do X, Y, and Z, and there's no ability. But then the body directly will run down, and it's almost like you have an end goal, but the goal has not kind of hit. So now the physical fatigue is coming in, and you do tend to find with 12th house, it is the subconscious mind. So spiritually speaking, we can get quite exhausted. It can be a death of an egoic state where you're looking at something and finding that of your third eye, you're not seeing a solution or resolve. It's a perfect time to be utilizing the tools that I've given you, which is really what you'll find is sometimes it can be the environment around you. Sometimes it can be linking in with people who you're tuning into, and their vibration can be low and you're directly absorbing it. I have been actually touching base with a lot of you through Skype who I actually do readings through, and operating with that intent to be in the very current moment. If you can come back to the here and now, it's going to help anchor your energy in. And when you do feel the intensity of the vibration, to literally breathe the energy out like you're blowing negativity out. If your body is needing more rest, you need to acknowledge the fact that you need to nurture your body and go with the flow. Now, the benefits of moving opposing aspects, that can be quite difficult. Hoping the internet's going to come back. Good. when this occurs, there can be tension in groups. There can be tension and very sharp conversations. Now, another astrologer the other day was mentioning that, we needed to be cautious with our throat chakra. And yes and no. I do believe everything does firmly happen for a reason. And it's a bit like if you do have a path that you were meant to experience, it is there for a lesson and it's there to actually help you grow. So sometimes these things can actually be necessary, where even if you attempt to avoid it, it's a suppression. With Mercury in Aquarius, you may be talking quite bluntly to particular individuals, but there can be group dynamics that just aren't meshing and fitting. With the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, it can be a work-related dynamic. It can be a family or a tribe-related dynamic. It's also at a collective level when you're looking at your pastimes and some of your hopes and dreams, due to the fact that we were in 3D, we were like really dealing with a lot of crap. Excuse my French, but it's true. Our spiritual quest has gone off path and it's been to the detriment of our soul path. So looking at what is not going to work for you is very, very important, and it is very self-orientated at the moment. So really checking in with yourself and saying, okay, am I doing this because it's an expectation, or am I doing this because it's in alignment with who I am? And it's very there may have been things that you were doing for other people, and Aquarius is the collective, so it's the group, the wider group, and that matches providing they're working with you. If they're not, you may feel some sense of agitation, anger, resent. That can be a purge as well, but it's also about actually checking your limit. It's like looking at your fuel tank and saying, I'm willing to do X, Y, and Z. If you're expecting beyond that point, I must care for self. Let me see. Yeah, and look, another thing is, because I do have a lot of clientele and I do have a lot of male and female clients, the way in which females, now we're only going to concentrate on male and female as in human beings, and look at spiritual path, but more as us currently right now for our health. Okay. Yeah, well, I've really been quite worried about, the tribe as well, and trying to, especially since what you'll find is I have noticed on my path that even me, I have been experiencing this. So it would be not honest of me to come to you guys if I know I've been feeling this month, and then checking in with my subbies and then seeing the vibration. I mean, I was watching a few readers and you can really see the raw organic feeling. It's almost bursting into tears, feeling quite fatigued. It's depleting energy, a lot of higher heart chakra activation. And I also have found, spiritually speaking, if you're doing something and you have not made peace with it, it tends to not alchemize. It's really quite unique, especially if I've been doing something that I have not been content with doing, and subconsciously, be something to that degree, whatever that spiritual energy is coming up for you. And this has happened through life. And it's probably really been in the last year, I've noticed how strong the it's going to, from the perspective that the goal post energy plus the Pisces energy is in Mercury, but it is going to move into Aquarius, which is Mars is going to be in Aquarius, Saturn's going to be in Aquarius. It's going to be stationary of the moon energy. So during that time, it will be intense. It's also going to be quincunxing. Let me check the chart, and I'm going to tell you what I've been saying. Where is it? Okay, the moon is going to be quincunxing Mercury at 0 degrees, and this is on the 10th, the day after the super full moon. When it quincunxes, and as I mentioned, I need to check where the moon, 1 minute, bear with me. Mercury, where are you? There you are. Yeah, Aquarius. Okay, so as I said, it's going to be stationary, right? When you get a quincunx, it is a critical point where there is no turning back and it directly has to be addressed. It's like coming to a T-section and suddenly it is something that with that moon energy and a healing point, that if you do not let something go or you do not reach a resolve, it is a left or right situation. You can't go back. It's left or right, simple. And it can be for health, it can be for the bigger picture because you have reached a clarity point. But no choice is a choice, and a choice is a choice. It doesn't have to mean it's permanent, but it definitely at that point in time is going to reach a pivotal point. Now, there are going to be some secrets revealed. This is stated so in astrology. There is going to be, and it doesn't have to be that it's a lie. 12th house can be subconscious mind, hidden enemies. Let's get down to it. So it's subconscious mind, hidden resources, secrets, enemies, responsibilities, illicit affairs. If you have been hiding something, it can come to the forefront. If there is been a betrayal that is going on behind your back, it can come to the forefront. Now, this can be an old wound. It doesn't have to be that it is occurring at a level that has just occurred. But if the wound is there and it needs to be addressed, it can be conversations pertaining to this point. It's also your spiritual beliefs. Are they the value systems of the wider group of who you're mixing with? Do you directly relate with those individuals? And can you acceptingly love thyself as well as love thy neighbour? To agree to disagree. But this information, it's a very large spiritual test, but it is there to actually physically push you through. There is going to be blessings during this month, and that's the benefiting part. There's going to be blessings, and these dreams can be rewritten all, and it is the highest possible way to alleviate some of these. But it is bringing things where we are being extremely rational. It's a little bit like when you're sick, you do become very rational. Bread, water, sleep, or sleep, medicine, rest, and just you're very, very rational. You're very much away from your ego. This has happened for us to have a great deal of self-meditation. And through that meditation of looking at where we want our life to be, after all our findings with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, what's that going to look like and how does that feel? When you do have a situation arising and you do have conversations and people communicating with you and you're cast with a decision to make, you're going to be more rational to make that decision. It will be more rational that you will be looking at, yes, the dream, but also where you are willing to put the energy into. Now, like I said, sun energy is hope. When it's stationary, you're going to find that you're going to have absolute clarity of mind what that is. Absolute clarity of mind of how you feel about something away from the pain body experience. It will heighten these things. Let's see what else is happening in the chart, because I did want to look the day after. So I have looked briefly at one aspect, and that's the conjunct. So communication, which is positive. Where else seeing? Now it's interesting. These changes, it's like this frustration directly connected to, okay, is it a movable situation? Is trying to move this change forward the delusion that no progress is happening, or is it a frustration at the delay and the adversity? Some of these lessons I do feel very strongly are linking in with our shadow side. Black Moon Lilith directly is shadow energy. And we do have the nodes squaring Lilith at 0 degrees. And if we can face our shadow, I do feel we can actually stand out of our way. We also have the nodes squaring Chiron. And again, actually looking at the tools we have and knowing that we, as I've mentioned in your videos, when I mentioned your wound, if a wound is coming up, it doesn't have to be that it's in a house. And I do know for each zodiac sign, we do have that in a particular house. But it still can be any wound, nevertheless, that comes through with the Cancer Capricorn nodes. And how we directly look at that, and can we, from a first house placement, take direct accountability and transmute that effectively, where we can communicate effectively. Now, many of us, due to the fact that some of these dreams have not come full 360, there can be a lot of projection. Now, it doesn't mean to say that you won't have the dream, but it's like what you're willing to do to create that balance. That can be a message. It can be the person directly speaking to you. And I'm going to pull 3 cards. And then I will come back again later for more updates of the Virgo energy. And I may actually talk about them and look at how we can actually support each other. And I don't know why the chat's not working, so feel free after to connect it, and I just hope this video is still working. Sometimes when I type, it adds it again. But I'm telling you, Mercury retrograde, I should say I can't wait till Mercury direct. This is going to be a very interesting day. And I'm only reading these up, right? That makes sense. Okay. It's interesting that this has grown, and there's a butterfly on the card. Let me see what the card number is. 3, 4. Okay, change. Heart chakra. It's the Chiron energy. It is the grounded way of looking at a situation and moving away from the ego of your delusions, that because you can't see something, maybe it's not changing. You energy that's coming up. 5 means there is change. 5 is also the need to change. It's also to look at the wounds in a healthy manner, and it can even be discussions of where things have not been working and meshing. With the butterfly, it does mean there's transformation. So there is transformation coming through, moving into the Virgo moon. Now, a lot of fear-based frequency and toxicity can be subject matters that we do discuss. It can be where we were bound and stuck. And with the orange chakra, it is where we had power and where we were disempowered. And again, illusions, delusions, dreams. It is out of alignment energy, but it's the need to actually balance the lower chakras during the transit. Now, you are going to start feeling a lot more comfortable with the energy as it proceeds forward. And that's why I've done this video, is because many of you are feeling very much like this is just a continuation of the last 3 years of the energy and the astrology. This actually is the best year. It may not coming into it feel that way, but moving through these wounds and standing out of our way, it's there as a gift, so that we can have the best possible year proceeding forward. What we need to do is actually hear people out, but also listen to all of what you're being drawn towards. To reach a completion, this is karmic completion. So again, it's the communication. I feel it's more the completion and the rounding off of that cycle when Mercury directly goes direct. But I still feel with the Virgo energy coming through, it is going to help us look at things grounded, but we do need to be very mindful of how we articulate things. Okay, on the 19th, the sun is entering Aries. Now, again, your hopes and dreams, it's very Mars energy. It's wanting to actually move your life forward in the healthiest, in the growth sector. Now, as I mentioned, they do say Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are making a lot of harmony to the moon. So what that means is in a dream state, there is going to be an ability to take that accountability, to fix the ship and to proceed forward. This can be deep healing in connections, but it does mean these difficulties in connections have to come up so they can directly be addressed, so we're taking them forward. Okay, Aries energy. Okay, pertaining to male energies, I do feel they're dealing with this energy a lot differently to us. This is a lot of crown activation. Focus on the healing. Focus on, instead of looking at the negative, look at the positive. If this comes up, it means it's going to be cleared. The challenges will clear. If there's a lot of projection and there's fights between people, it's speaking truths, but it's deciphering between what is a trigger and what is verbal diarrhea, you know, because sometimes when we're hurt, we say things. It doesn't mean we legitimately mean it. But bringing these things to the surface is clearing it out, and it's detoxifying. Also, there can be a lot of inner child energy that's coming up. If you can rise above it and you can see where it means for you to be, this will give you a new creative start. You know, yellow energy is very psychically protective. Show me the card. Connection to earthly possessions. Yep, that makes sense too. You will need this transit, and I'll try not to knock the internet off because I've actually got people using the internet. With the dream and the movement to be in the 3D. So with this, yes, through the muddy waters, as they say, Chiron came. And through the dirt, yes, flowers grew. So yes, there is healing and there can be transformation, even in the most painful cycles and situations. But it's looking at it and asking your guides to help you, but also to actually understand that this is a potential. Now, purple to actually understand that this is a potential. Now, purple can actually connect you in with the 12th house. Amethyst can also, you do need to be drinking water, and I would caution everyone to get rest if they can, to create healthy boundaries, but it doesn't have to be aggravated or angry. Also to start eating healthy, to create healthy boundaries, but it doesn't have to be aggravated or angry. Also to start eating healthy, pay attention to your health, get your chakra systems in alignment and focus on what you can control. If you can't control something, let it go temporarily to get grounded, and then you can go back to that proceeding into the Virgo moon. We'll come back again later and I will give you more updates, but just know that you guys aren't alone. We're all going through it. It is lightening. It is going to lighten up. You just need to have a little bit of patience with yourself and know this is going to pass. Okay, take care, guys. Bye. You won't let me go now. Maybe we'll just be here forever. You'll be stuck with me. YouTube, please